Hello, everybody, my beautiful people. Happy Monday night. You know what that means, right? We got to get back to work on step 4. I know you're excited. I am. So here's my problem. If I'm being honest, which is on my strength column, I totally forgot exactly where we were at. I think we talked about listing our strengths and weaknesses for step 4 and then rating them 1 to 5. So I'm going to pretend like we all did that. And if you didn't, maybe you can. For those of you catching up, we're working on our step 4 work in little nuggets each night, taking a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. So I listed my defects and I listed my strengths and I rated them 1 to 5. And now I'm going to share with you a couple of the questions that the book is asking, and I think we're on defects, so I'm going to ask it about the defects. So here goes. I'm going to ask an answer, and maybe you have a pen and paper, and because you have a list written somewhere, and you want to do what the book says, and then we'll move on to some other stuff tomorrow. So my biggest defect that I had written a complete 5 on. No, I'm lying. I gave myself a 3. The not detailed, I gave myself a 5 on. But what I'm realizing is I have defects at my day job and strengths in my day job. And then I have defects in my life and strengths in my life. And they're not necessarily the same. So I guess that's okay. So I guess one I should put on my annual self-review, right? Okay. Anyway, so we're going to do this with reference to my character defect of, yes, I'm sticking with procrastination. Rate it. So we decided I was in the middle, 3. Do I find that some of my defects of character are not really as bad as you thought they were? Well, I think that's kind of what I just said to you. Even though I think procrastination is an opportunity area for me, because I guess this goes back to probably another defect of mine where I put a lot of pressure on myself and want things done, you know, when I want them done. And it's really interesting because as I navigate through recovery and as we talked about, like forgiving ourselves and going easy on ourselves and taking care of ourselves, I value all that stuff. So that kind of kicks in a little too with the procrastination. And I probably have to find a balance because there's definitely days where I don't want to do something and then I go do a self-care item instead. So is that really procrastination or am I taking care of myself? So it's just something I need to be aware of. Am I willing to work at removing these defects of character? So my answer is yes. Like I'm very mindful of this all the time. And well, I shouldn't say all the time. I'm very mindful of this. And I think of it a lot of times as my step 10 work. And I try to look in the mirror all the time. And this is a reason why going to groups or meetings is important, because when you're talking about this stuff, it kind of bubbles up where in the day to day, we might not be thinking about, oh, what can I work on myself about? Like we just don't necessarily think that unless we're living that way. So I'm absolutely committed to working on them. It's just a matter of continuing to practice all my recovery strategies that I believe in that work for me in order to stay in tune with that. So one of those might be on Sunday nights here, we have a step meeting. So maybe I need to go to the step meeting more often. Maybe now that there's no volleyball, that's normally my problem is it's a step meeting on Sunday night and I have volleyball from 5 to 7 and the meeting is like, I think it's 6 or maybe it starts at 7, but it's a half an hour away. So it's really hard sometimes to be in 2 places at once. Another defect. I'm too busy. All right. So that's one way anyway to work on it is by being engaged in a step meeting. I get to cheat and I get to do my step work with you as well. At least once a month, I'm looking at the steps. I may not be learning through feedback because I'm not getting feedback per se, but at least it gets me thinking. List the number of ways the removal of your defects would benefit you and others. So I think my biggest struggle, and maybe why I'm beating myself up about this, is because all this classwork that I'm working on is to help me get to the next level of communicating with you guys and like raising my voice about gambling awareness. So that's the stuff that I'm working on. And I feel like not getting it done as quickly as I want to is frustrating because I can't deliver the message and I can't serve the gamblers that need this approach to recovery or just need, you know, a different style or a different outlet, as well as heightening awareness. It's blowing my mind the more research I do and the more I look. Like, people know that gambling is a problem. Like, it's definitely true because there's rooms on Facebook and there's professionals that are, you know, putting stuff out on LinkedIn. And so it's out there, but it's just, it's crazy to me that just as much as I see that it's out there, I see that people don't know too. I run into that a lot. I went off the beaten path a little. Anyway, that's where I'm struggling with my procrastination because I want to get it done and be able to be out there to serve. So that's that. And as I improve, I can't talk. As I improve on one character trait, will it aid me in improving on others, and how? Oh, great. So procrastination is a perfect one to answer that question. If I fix the procrastination and I get the work stuff done, and I'm talking about my outside of work, if I get that done, then I have more free time to work on my other defects, which included snazzy stuff like being selfish and impatient and not humble. So yeah, I think that works. I think that I also owe you another thank you because that brings me to where you're helping me do this and look at this right now. So I appreciate you. I'm not sure if I told you that lately, but I do. And this is helpful for me. It looks like I'm trying to read and talk to you at the same time, which does not work. It looks like we have a couple more questions to work on tomorrow as far as building our character. And then the book switches to priorities, principles, and responsibilities. So we'll get into that. We have all week. We have all month. And this book has got a lot of nuggets in it. And of course, if one sentence leads me to talk for 10 sentences, it's going to take us a while to get through all of step 4. But I'm enjoying this and I need this. So thank you. And as far as gratitude for today, I didn't drink my water, guys. I was bad about drinking my water. I guess I'm grateful that I can be honest with you. That would be one of my gratitude things. And I'm grateful that I don't let the majority rule, or that I don't have to be right. I don't have to pick fights. I'm grateful for that attribute. I guess that kind of goes into the inventory. But as I struggle with seeing different things, I'm very grateful that I'm at least aware of my own behavior and how I show up in those conversations and in those situations. And I won't tell you it's easy, but it's doable. It's definitely doable. All right, beautiful people. You have an amazing evening. I'm not sure where everybody's at, but in sunny Schenectady, it's like 60 degrees almost, so it's pretty exciting tonight. All right, everybody, I will chat with you in the morning. Have a good evening.